Welcome to Modern Homestead, Alaska. Right now, Alaska's under a blanket of snow. The garden is quiet, buried deep, resting. The greenhouse is filled with snowdrifts instead of seedlings, and everything feels still, like it's holding its breath. This is the long pause of winter, a season where the land sleeps deeply, gathers strength beneath the frozen ground. Because winter isn't an ending here, it's a deep sleep, a necessary one. And while the earth rests, we plan. We imagine what could be. We choose seeds, sketch ideas, and dream forward, trusting that when the time is right, growth will come again. The plants will grow, the garden will grow, everything will be green and lush and beautiful as before. So today, even as the snow continues to fall, and yes, it continues to fall, I'm starting our 2026 garden season. Join me for a seed haul and a quiet garden chat as we begin again, right here on Alaska's time. Well, I am so excited to sit down with you guys and just kind of work through what I got in the mail and share a little bit about Alaska. I know we have a couple of feet of snow still out there, but it is time to get going on the garden. We are about to be as full swing into this thing as you can possibly be. But what had to happen first was I had to get this shipment, and I thought maybe you would enjoy a little seed haul as well as some basic garden information and looking into the future for the channel, where we're going and what we're planning on doing up here this gardening season. Let's get opening my beautiful seed haul. Woo! I have been trying not to do too many videos where I just sit down and talk to you guys, but a seed haul is kind of one of those instances where it's better to just kind of sit and have a conversation than try and run around with the camera. But I was looking here is my invoice of how many, and I wish it told me, total items 77. We have 77 packs of seed. I have shared before, I get all of my seeds from Denali Seed Company, if you can see that right there. The reason is they aren't actually in Alaska anymore. They used to be in Alaska. They are called bestcoolseeds.com now, BCS, Best Cool Seeds, like that. So all of them are made for our environment. And I think that was one of the things that I wrote on my list, my 2026 garden, and things to talk about is we are somewhere between a zone 2 and a zone 3 for our gardening area. And all that zones actually refer to is how cold it gets where you live. So it can get all the way down to -40 here. And a zone 3 gets -30 Fahrenheit to -40 Fahrenheit. And a zone 2 gets from -40 to -50. And we have lots and lots of little microclimates, if you will, around us. And my sister, she cracks me up. I always say, I'm really close to the inlet as the crow flies. She says, none of us fly, so stop saying that. However, when we're talking about microclimates, things like how close you are to the ocean or how high your elevation is, all of those things can definitely change your hardiness zone. And when it comes to time to plant these vegetables and flowers and so on out, sometimes it matters and sometimes it doesn't. And I am still such a baby. I am so new to gardening. I learned to garden here in Alaska. And so every time I learn something new, I love, love, love to share it with you guys. So getting an understanding that your garden zone is just simply telling you how cold it gets where you're at in the winter time, and the plants that's most going to affect is anything that is outside. So the trees, the shrubs, the flowers, any of that, the herbs, whatever it is that you grow, you leave in the ground, and it has to overwinter up here. That is when your garden zone is actually going to matter. What the garden zone doesn't take into consideration, I wrote it down and it doesn't even say it, like the Farmer's Almanac and Google and those sort of things. If you look up and understand garden zones, it doesn't even say daylight length. It's something I learned in college garden class, because that's where I learned to garden, is the local college here. Daylight length has a direct impact on what we grow here, and that might not be something that affects you wherever you're at. So let's talk about zones don't take into consideration length. So the growing season, they don't take into consideration summer heat, humidity, rainfall, and I added daylight length. Something we learn is, and I'm seeing it here, is things like broccoli. The reason we struggle so much with like broccoli and some of the greens and other things, they just go to seed. They just sprout. You don't get the fruit, the vegetable, whatever, and it just starts flowering and it's producing seeds. Some plants depend more on darkness, like how much darkness they get, than daylight in order to produce a really, really healthy crop. So I do think that's something that needs to be talked about more for newer gardeners, especially if you are in a environment like I am, where we have nearly 24 hours of daylight in part of the summer. So the sun circles around in the summertime. It comes in every single window. We watch it above the house just kind of go in a big circle like that. And then in the wintertime, it barely comes up over my head and sets. So I at least get some daylight in the wintertime. In the summertime, I get a massive amount of it. Well, look at my seed haul. I am just beyond excited to start kind of digging through here, getting out the seed storage, getting everything organized. But I thought before I did that, I would kind of share with you what I've ordered up and what we're planning on doing. My garden is roughly 40 foot by 40 foot, but it turned into 50 foot by 50 foot because we added the greenhouses. We had to add the greenhouses because it simply doesn't get warm enough. We needed kind of that hot house effect to try and grow things like tomatoes and peppers, as well as tomatillos. And I had such a fantastic tomatillo harvest last year. I was able to make salsa from the tomatillos that we grew, and that is one of the things I am most proud of from last year's garden season. However, we have these big hopes and dreams of this beautiful greenhouse that has like heated beds in it. So dig it down. We want to add it's almost like in-floor heating, but for the greenhouse, and it will circulate warm water and it will heat the soil. And part of what we struggle with is it still hasn't, over me learning to garden here, been quite warm enough, even with the greenhouses we have, to truly grow peppers and tomatoes and to get a fantastic harvest. This year, the one thing you're not gonna see me do or see here is tomato seeds. I am just going to buy all of the tomatoes from the local greenhouse, the starts, the small plants, and that is what we're gonna do. I can't order everything from Denali Seed Company, so if you want like multicolored carrots, if you want tomatillos, if you wanted to try and grow an eggplant or something like that up here, you have to order the seeds through someone else, simply because those are not good contenders for Alaska based on our temperatures and our length, our growing season. How many actual days is that plant able to be outside in the ground? So at my house, my garden, we have about 106 growing days. So about 106 days, and many things from artichokes on down to like pumpkins and squashes and so on. Many of those things are actually take more than 100 days to grow. There's very few things that are like in the 90 to 100 day mark, and those are things that we direct sow into the ground. Even I'm looking here, beets are seed started. So even the beets, I'm wondering, give me a second and I'll fast forward through this here. Okay, so Denali, unlike some other seed companies, they don't tell you how many exact days you need to grow these things, and they may on their website if you're looking up each and every individual seed packet. They do tell you days to germination. However, they do not tell you like this pumpkin is going to take 120 days or something like that. I know a lot of Johnny Seeds and some other companies do print that on their seed packets, and that's really good information to know. However, as we get into this and actually start planting out the seeds, I do have all of that documentation in a general sense. Like in general, how long does celery take? How long does cauliflower take? Maybe not this variety of beet or so on, but I do have all of that out, and I will take you along as we seed start, and we'll say, hey, this is why we're seed starting all the way in February or March before we even get these things into the ground. So alas, I think we've covered everything. Let's talk about what we can grow here and what we plan on growing. Hopefully I'm not cutting off my own head, but I wanted you to see the seeds laid out, and there is a little bit of color coordination with Denali Seed Company. I grabbed all the yellows out. There's some pink, red, green, and you'll see really quickly, if you see this kind of golden colored one, that simply means they're an organic seed. And so let's see, I see only one blue. This is called a Shasta daisy. So we have everything from some flowers that will grow really well up here to some herbs, and then of course your standard garden vegetables. And then, like I said earlier, these are all specifically things that will grow really well in my climate and my area, and you may not be able to grow some of these things, and you may be able to grow some things that I can't. So the Shasta daisy, this is something that will come back every single year if I planted this out, and I just absolutely love daisies. I think they are such a sweet little flower. They're my only blue packet, so that one's covered. I pulled the yellow ones, and guys, who cares? Who cares if we miss one as we go through? We're gonna go through all of it, but I think if we kind of pull some colors out, let's talk about the herbs. We have sweet marjoram, catnip. Catnip overwinters here and in pots, which is crazy because anything that's in a pot needs to be able to withstand a gardening hardiness zone 1 lower than what you are. So if I am a 3, it needs to be able to withstand a 2. If I'm a 2, it needs to be able to withstand a 1, so on and so forth. But the catnip just comes back every year. Chickens like it. Some animals might like it. I do think it's a mint that cats love. I'll give some of it. All of my neighbors have cats, so I'll give some of it to them. And I think it's just really pretty, and it smells really good out there when you brush against it. So enough about catnip. Basil. And basil is one of my absolute favorite herbs. I try to buy fresh basil each shopping trip. Not always able to get it, but I just absolutely love basil. And I like to try and grow it in and amongst other things. Sage. Our sage last year was absolutely insane. It did so amazing straight into the garden, into the ground, as comparison to, I always tried to grow it in pots and things like that before. If we're able to get some raised beds for herbs and flowers, that would be wonderful there. Some chives. Chives over winter here as well, and I seed saved from my original chive plant from the very first year that we were here. It is overwintered, and for whatever reason this year, it straight came up, went to seed. So did all of my neighbors. So we don't know if that was something like weather related. Maybe it's dying off. I don't know, but we'll go ahead and try some more. Thyme. I absolutely love some thyme. I pulled my thyme plants, and I think thyme and rosemary. I pulled 2 herbs inside. They have died. So I was unable to keep them inside over winter, but I tried. Oregano. I love oregano. Summer savory. I have still not been able to always get this seed to begin with. Second of all, I haven't grown enough to actually know whether I like this or not. And so we're gonna put our hand to that again this year. And then dill, of course. Dill grows really, really well up here. The next, let's choose a color. Let's go pink. Let's get the flowers out of the way. Now, I have a ton of flower seed in my seed kits, and so I didn't go overboard. Also, my son is getting married this summer, and we ordered so many flower things to try and grow for the wedding that I went very light here. We did some more Livingston daisies, the bachelor's buttons. These grow beautifully here, and of course some more sweet peas. We did try and seed save some sweet peas. It was our first year growing these last year, and they cascaded up and over. They are absolutely a great, easy thing to grow up here in our climate. They work out really, really well. Let's see, let's pull the reds. I don't know why they're red, but they all kind of have like an Asian emblem on them. Chinese parsley. This is cilantro. So why they call it Chinese parsley, I don't know. Bunching onions, and then garlic chives. Let's see what organic seeds we have. All of these. If I get the opportunity to get an organic seed, I do try. However, as long as they're not genetically modified, as long as I don't get too picky about any of that. Okay, let's see what organics they had. We have a little leaf H19 cucumber. We have a sparkler radish. And what you'll notice I started doing last year is only 2, sometimes 3 varieties of things, because we're still trying to learn what grows best in our environment, what do we like the most, so on. And if we just grow everything every year all at the same time, it's hard for me to gauge. So I did continue what I did last year, and that is only get a few of each thing. So arugula, now you can succession plant arugula. We can get several harvests of that. We have the burpees, Ford Hook zucchini. We have the Red Express cabbages. I've never successfully grown leeks, but I have seen a ton of people up here successfully grow leeks, so we're gonna try those again. Here we go, King Richard leeks. The Renegade spinach. Spinach is something else that goes to seed really, really quickly on me. I'm not 100% sure how to take care of that. The Solstice broccoli. Broccoli goes to seed on me really, really quickly as well. The white icicle radishes. And the Muncher cucumber. This is not a pickling cucumber. It's not something you want to can up. This is a fresh eating cucumber. All right. Now, let me see. I have so many less seeds than I have the years before. When you're learning to garden, you will find that you just want to try everything. You want what grows, what doesn't grow, and you want to experiment with all of it at once. And I've really, in the last couple of years, learned to cut back and just try a few. So these look like beans and peas. I'm completely out of any type of bean or pea seed. So let's see, bean, pea, pea, bean, bean. Then we'll talk about what they are. Pea, pea, pea. And they're different kinds of peas. Okay, so bear with me here. There's 3 green bean types. One are the top-notch golden wax. That's a yellow green bean. And then we have the contender and the provider as far as regular green beans go. I've never grown enough green beans to actually get a harvest, but I have been able to get some from like the farmer's market. So snap peas and shell peas. So snap peas, you just eat the whole pea. And then shelling peas, you actually shell them. You take them out and they're like the little green peas that you find frozen in the frozen section. So for the snap peas, we got the sugar and sugar snap and the sugar daddy. And then as far as shelling peas go, I have 4 here. Frozen Ina, okay, Freezonian, that one, as well as Alaska. Let's hope this one does all right here, huh? Early Frost, and then Maestro, M-A-E-S-T-R-O. Excuse my dyslexia if we get something wrong today. Let's see. I have a couple of pumpkins. Oh my gosh, I just let them go ham last year. They went across the raspberries and out by the cow. They crossed it, and then we have a bunch of ground cherries planted out there, and then went out that side of the fence. The pumpkins were just one of my absolute favorite things. So this is a squash, so I'll consider that in the same category. We just have a golden nugget squash. I tried watermelon, I've tried honeydew, I've tried many of those. We do not get warm enough for those things to grow here. That doesn't mean I haven't kept trying. It just simply means I cannot seem to get enough heat. However, Alaska is known for growing the world's largest pumpkins. So some of our vegetables are the biggest in the world, and you can go to the state fair. You can buy seeds from some of those. Like, they're just absolutely fantastic because of our long sunlight, our long days. We can grow some massive things up here. So even though we start later, we tend to catch up, but we also harvest a little bit earlier. So the small sugar pumpkins, I got enough of these this last year. These are a baking pumpkin for pumpkin pie. I have enough that I was able to harvest, decorate the house, and then preserve them. I just cooked them down and froze the pumpkin so they can make pies throughout the year. I like to give it to the dogs if one of them isn't feeling well and they have to make their dog food. But I did get enough of a harvest. And then the Connecticut field pumpkin is the one that just went poof, like all the way out of the garden, and it was one of my favorite things to absolutely see. Along that same line, I got another squash. Let's do like cucumbers and zucchini. I think, yep, looks like this. Let's see, zucchini, cucumber, and then squashes. Okay, so we have the Black Beauty. The zucchinis do fantastic here, just like they do in the South. The golden zucchini. I have had an issue with these the last couple of years. I don't get very many, and they seem to have blossom and rot pretty badly, but the green zucchini seem to do all right. I'm gonna try and stay up on supplementing the food and so on to see if I can do a better job. I'll take you along, we'll see. And this is just a BC2 regular green zucchini. As far as the squashes go, we have the Buttercup. So I haven't been able to get any of those to harvest. And then this is considered a squash, but it looks like a zucchini, eats like a zucchini, and it's Castorea, C-A-S-T-E-R-T-A. Anywho, it's kind of like a little striped zucchini. And then cucumbers, we have the Marketer, the Muncher, which that might be the same as the organic one I got, and the Morden, M-O-R-D-E-N, early. So this is a pickling cucumber. All right, let's talk cauliflower. I did 3 of them. Cauliflower is the one thing that I haven't been able to grow good broccoli to save my life, but cauliflower, I have been able to grow the most beautiful, sweet, fantastic cauliflower the last couple of years, and so I'm excited to do that again, as that is also one of my favorite things. So we have the Snow Crown, and what's amazing about the cauliflowers is they ripen at different times. And so we would just go out there this summer and I would turn around and Caleb or Wyatt or Aaron or whoever would just have a head of cauliflower in the hand and just be eating it. They would snap it off and walk around the yard eating a head of cauliflower. I love it. I just absolutely remember that. So the Snowball Early and the Igloo. And then the other broccoli is the Green King. I haven't grown that one. I don't remember that name. And when I was ordering the seeds, I don't remember growing this one. So maybe that is the one answer. Wyatt just got home from work in the middle of me filming. So let's talk carrots, beets. We're winding down, guys. We're almost done. And radishes. So I already had, I think, 2 radishes. They were in different categories, so we'll go through those. And then we have an early scarlet globe. And then as far as carrots go, we have 3. Chat and Wyatt, how do you say this? C-H-A-N-T-E-N-A-Y. C-H-A-N.
Chan.
T-E-N-A-Y.
Chantney.
Chantney red cord. Cord. C-O-R-E-D. There you go. Okay. N-A-N-T-E-S.
Nance.
Nance. Fancy. That one. And then the royal. What is that word?
It's a carrot.
Royal.
Chantney.
Chantney. There we go, friends. Wyatt is not dyslexic. He's very, very smart. We're just making names up here. There we go. So 3 kinds of carrots. What's this one?
That looks like a beet.
Yeah. We call these just the candy stripes. They have the pink swirl in them. I think they're beautiful. The early wonder is just a solid red. And then this golden Detroit is... Say hi, Layla. Say hi, Layla. Layla, baby. Layla, baby. And then this is a golden beet there as well. I love beets. My family doesn't love beets. I grow them for me. Don't care. 1 pack. There's only 1. The Green Globe Artichoke. I love to grow these. I don't know that I love to eat them or harvest them, but I think they just look so cool out there. Like it's the most medieval looking plant. They're spiky and kind of mean, but I think they are fantastic. And then I have been able to give away beautiful amounts of Brussels sprouts without being able to grow and harvest my own. I don't know why other people grow them so much better than I do, but we have the Jade Cross and the Long Island Improved. This year, what my goal is on the Brussels sprouts is I am going to space them out even more and then see if they need to be fertilized more often. So that's the big change I'm going to make as far as those go this year. Now, let me lettuce, spinach. See how close we are? Lettuces in the leaf lettuce. Another cabbage and we're almost done. Okay. Celery, Utah, 5270. I can easily grow a year's worth of celery. This seems to be the one thing that no matter what, I have gotten massive harvests of celery every single year since I started out. And then I have 1 more cabbage, the early Copenhagen Market Improved. You know what's hard about cabbage? It's not something that I enjoy like frozen or preserved, and I don't. Aaron will eat sauerkraut. I don't love it. It's good for the gut health and those sort of things. I just really, really like the cabbage fresh or cooked from fresh. So I think I'm gonna do a lot less cabbage this year because it takes up so much space, and then I just like it fresh. So I think it's one of those items that, as sustainable as we're trying to be, grow our own food, grow our own animals, hunt, fish, preserve, do all of that as much as possible. It's something that I just enjoy it kind of fresh. It's better off throughout the year to buy it as opposed to trying preserve a bunch of it, so I did do less of those than previous. Spinaches, again, I super struggle to even get these to where I can eat them. But again, we're gonna try because I love fresh spinach. So we have the Bloomsdale Long Standing, the New Zealand, and Space. So we're gonna try those 3 spinaches. Spinaches is also something that you can succession plant. So you can grow your first set of spinach, pull it out, and then grow a second round of it up here. We do have time for that. We did another leek. This one is the giant muselbird, whatever. And then 2 endives, green curled. Okay, so these I can succession plant as well. So they're the same seed, just 2 of the same seed. And then these are all of my lettuces. So lettuce is obviously not something that I've limited myself to 1 or 2. So here we go. The gourmet mix. So this will be full. This was wonderful. A couple of the lettuces last year started to go to seed, but I could easily grab those just by the root and pull whatever was going to seed out and then cut down the rest of the lettuce, and we had salad mix. Not everything in this mix, whatever happens to be in here, does really well, but most of it does fine. The other one is the red salad bowl, Grand Rapids. That's a green, kind of curly leaf. The butter crunch, these are kind of almost like a head. You can cut the whole little thing off. It is a bigger flat leaf, but it's not big. It ends up about like that size, if you will. The salad bowl, same thing, more of a flat. The oak leaf, the romaine. So those are individuals. And then the Great Lakes, sorry, 1/18. So this is a head of lettuce. I haven't done any of this yet. I haven't tried to grow the romaine or the heads of lettuce. So I'm pretty excited to try those out. All of those do, other than I said, there's a few in that one salad mix, and you can just go through and pick them out. And then once you cut that down, it just pushes new growth. And that salad just keeps coming back over and over and over, and it can last you the whole season. So that is this first seed haul. So we have a bunch of flowers coming, and when I get those in, I will take you along for those as well. I need to get all of this organized and then start pulling up my garden plans and really start diving into exactly how much of each thing we are going to be growing, and I would love to take you along for that. You can join me in my Alaska garden adventures by hitting the subscribe button. If you ring the bell, you get notifications. You don't miss anything we do on our homestead. I did want to say thank you for joining me. It's probably kind of a short little video, but I'm so excited for what we have going on, and I like looking forward to the next season, the next thing. Although we are enjoying the beautiful snow, the rest, the projects that are getting done inside of the home, we've done really, really well with all of that this winter, and I have a couple of projects that I want to share with you guys. I got something that I have been looking for and trying to get since we even started building the house, and I finally got an antique that is going to go into this home that I cannot wait. Okay, just join the channel. I want to take you along for some house projects as well. So I'm really proud of what we have going on, and I'm super, super looking forward to the spring and the summer that is just right around the corner. And with that, I hope that you are blessed. I hope that you have a beautiful week and do some gardening planning, some plans for the future, and take some time to just enjoy whatever it is that you have going on in your home, your life this week as well. And with that, thank you for being here today. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.